It's Sunday, July 5th, 2026, and my AI just tried to help by auto-cropping my face out of the thumbnail. Like, thanks, man! This is Blue Lightning Daily, and yes, this episode is fully machine-made end-to-end. If it gets a little spicy or weird, we're leaving it in. I'm Hunter.
I'm Riley. And I love that our entire show is basically two robots pretending we're not robots, which is very on brand for the internet right now.
Today's lead story is actually a real workflow win. Adobe is rolling out AI Markup inside Firefly, and paired with Firefly Image Model 5 generating at about 4 megapixels natively, it's pushing Firefly from fun generator to I can actually ship this today.
Wait, hold up. So AI markup is basically point here editing, right? Like circle the thing and say what you want, and it doesn't nuke the entire image?
Exactly. You can brush, box select regions, drop text callouts on the canvas, and attach instructions to specific areas. It's Adobe finally admitting that text-only prompting is a productivity tax.
Oh my God, thank you. Because the classic generative image experience is, this is 90% perfect, and then you type make the logo slightly smaller, and suddenly the model is like, cool, I also changed the model's ethnicity, the lighting, and the concept of gravity.
Prompt roulette. And Adobe's been signaling this direction on the blog for a bit with precision flow and the whole revision-friendly pitch. They keep saying the real win is surviving revision, not just generating a pretty first draft.
That line is so true. Creators don't get paid for first drafts. We get paid for the fifth round, where someone says, love it. Now make it pop, but also less pop.
Exactly. And the second part of this update is the 4-megapixel native output from Image Model 5. That sounds boring until you've tried to ship an ad, a hero image, or a thumbnail where someone inevitably zooms in like they're doing a forensic investigation.
Yeah, the client zoom is undefeated. So what's the real threshold here? Like when does good enough become, I can ship it without panic sweating?
For me, it's when I can crop, add type, and do a little repositioning without the whole thing falling apart. 4 megapixels doesn't mean you're done, but it means you're not upscaling as step one just to hide mushy edges.
And for social teams, it's the difference between this looks fine on my phone and this looks like a crime on a desktop preview, especially if you're doing a YouTube thumbnail where the face and the text edges matter.
Totally. And AI markup also benefits from that higher base detail. Local edits tend to hold up better when the starting image has more information.
So question, where does AI markup break first? Because we all know it breaks somewhere. Hair, hands, reflections, or the final boss, brand logos.
I'm betting brand-critical stuff, logos, packaging, exact typography. Anything where close enough is actually please don't ever do that again. Hair and reflections are always spicy too because you're asking the model to respect physics and continuity.
And it's funny because this is the same conversation we've been having across the ecosystem this week. Like, Pika is going modular with skills, starting with voxel it, which is basically turn the world into Minecraft but keep people photoreal. That's not about ultimate model quality, it's about repeatable, predictable outputs for a trend.
Yes, skills are like packaged, consistent transformations. Firefly's AI markup is packaged control. Google's been pushing that vibe too with Gemini Omni Flash for conversational video edits, and Nano Banana 2 Lite for high-volume image drafting. The theme is speed plus steering, not just raw capability.
It's like the industry finally realized creators aren't asking for a new magic trick every week. We're asking for less babysitting. Like, please stop making me manage a slot machine.
Exactly. And I saw some chatter on X that was basically people celebrating that Firefly edits feel more fluid and controlled now. Less type of prayer, more direct the change.
That makes sense. And it also kind of messes with the classic we'll fix it in Photoshop pipeline, right?
It does, but I don't think it kills Photoshop people. I think it changes what gets fixed where. If Firefly can handle the annoying mid-tier revisions like background tweaks, object cleanup, localized lighting, then Photoshop becomes more about high-precision finishing and compositing choices.
So the masking monk era becomes optional for some teams.
For a lot of marketers and social creators, yeah. For high-end brand work, you still need the monk. But now the monk might be doing fewer boring selections and more actual creative decisions.
Okay, but let me challenge you. Is AI markup actually better than just jumping into Photoshop and doing a quick selection and a generative fill?
For me, it depends who you are. If you're already fast in Photoshop, Photoshop is still home court advantage. But Firefly markup lowers the skill floor. A producer or marketer can do this area, change that, without learning 3 different selection tools and refining edges.
That's huge for teams. Because otherwise the designer becomes a bottleneck for every tiny change, and tiny changes are never tiny.
Also, there's a psychological thing. In Firefly, the workflow is built around iteration. It's like Adobe's trying to keep you in a revision loop that doesn't feel like punishment.
I love that. And it lines up with the broader AI stack babysitting other AI era. Like, we're seeing tools where the interface is basically guardrails and control surfaces around a model that would otherwise go full chaos goblin.
Which brings us to the sniff test. Demo trick versus deadline tool. My sniff test is, can I do a second edit without the first edit unraveling? Can I do a third? Can I hand it to someone else and they understand what changed?
Mine is, does it behave when I'm rushing? Because creators do not work in perfect lab conditions. If the tool only works when you're calm and poetic with your prompts, it's not a tool, it's a lifestyle.
Yes. And Adobe seems to be optimizing for production momentum. They want Firefly to stay open in a tab all day, not just be the thing you show your friend at dinner.
So if you're listening and you're a creator, who's this for? I'm thinking social teams, thumbnail people, e-commerce, agencies who live in revision rounds.
That's exactly it. Anywhere you need variants fast, where feedback keeps coming, where change only this is the whole job.
And what should people watch out for?
Don't assume point here means perfect here. You still need QA, especially on logos, text, product accuracy, and anything regulated. And you should expect the classic weird zones, hair, reflections, fine geometry to still occasionally misbehave.
So it's more like fewer misfires, not zero misfires.
Exactly. Less chaos, more control. And paired with higher native resolution, it's a meaningful step from cool draft to shippable asset.
All right, that's the episode. If our AI tries to crop Hunter out again, we're calling it a creative choice.
It's performance art. Thanks for hanging with us on Blue Lightning Daily. Subscribe if you want more creator-first AI news without the hype.
And go check out bluelightningtv.com for updates, breakdowns, and all the stuff we're testing so you don't have to.
Catch you next time, assuming the robots let us back in the studio.